Well, I'm taking the videos early in the session because if I wait too long, they start fighting. We are using the timeout box, which Cadberry got to spend some time in last night. Already, just a brief introduction here, and they've had a little bit of a tiff. Not too bad yet. So I asked that we list everything that Cadberry's eating during the day so that I can take a look at it and decide how we're going to cut back on his food intake to get him to lose some weight. And okay, Cadberry, it's interesting with bunnies because some of the breeds, and I imagine he has maybe a bit of I don't know, New Zealand in him maybe. Some of the bunnies that were bred as meat rabbits put on weight really fast and really easily. So I imagine his diet is very much the same as what Pearl's is, and yet Pearl is at a good weight and a good, she's healthy, she looks good, she's great, and yet he is overweight, wheezing, having trouble cleaning himself. I haven't checked his scent glands, but I imagine they need cleaning, so we'll take a look at that because I don't think he's able to get down there himself. So it's important. Let's see if he tries to groom, and you can see right there, you can see his belly is pretty big. It makes it hard for him to get back, and eventually it makes it harder for them to get to their cecal pellets. I should say cecal poos, not pellets. But so it's important that with each bunny is you treat it as an individual because you just don't know which bunnies are going to put on weight extremely fast. I understand he's eating 1/8 of a cup of pellets every day, which does not sound like a lot, but I had a Californian that was on 1 tablespoon twice a day, which is a little less than 1/8 of a cup. So, and you have to really be careful with some of the other snacks and so forth. Because we think that Pearl is maybe just coming into adulthood, we need to keep an eye on her. Good boy. I thought he might get stuck in there, but he didn't. Okay. Good boy. So it just differs. It's the same with people as it is with bunnies. Every bunny's different, just like every person's different. Some people can eat whatever they want, whenever they want, and not gain a pound. Some bunnies seem to be able to eat anything and not worry about their weight, yet some tend to put on weight just by looking at food. And I find that the ones that are bred as meat rabbits originally tend to be the biggest offenders. So we keep an eye on them and make sure that, see how his ears are pointed forward, so that's okay. Hers were, one was back, one was forward. An interesting pair because I do believe that we have 2 handicaps going on with lack of hearing and lack of sight. So although I wish they could work it out and help each other out with the different situations, it seems like maybe their fears are overcoming their senses a little bit, and they're unable to get past the fear stage with each other. I have tried putting them in a litter box together and trying to pet them there, and that seems to help, but I am kind of at a loss to figure out where to go from here. If they could just share the same space without really getting entangled, that would be nice. And that's kind of what I was hoping to try and experiment with here, with a larger space. But yet last night they, when they finally tried to interact with each other, we had problems. So, Cadberry, let's see if you can clean yourself or get to your cecal poos. He's obviously able to get to his cecal poos still, but it's a little bit difficult for him. I'm concerned with his wheezing. That extra weight pushes pressure on the lungs, and so we need to be careful with that. And I think I'll finish tonight's update here, and we'll let this go for a while and see how we do. There is actually nothing in that litter pan. It's actually a dish pan. There's actually nothing in there. So if she thinks it's a litter box, I hope she's not using it that way. But she ran immediately to there as a source of comfort. So she tends to like areas where she can hide and feel safe, and that makes a lot of sense to me, whereas he's a little bit more active and outgoing, which also makes a little bit of sense. I got to say that his disposition, his demeanor, his temper is so much better than it was towards the end of when he was in Petco for sure. So I think he's really, really done well in his new home. Don't lick that. I don't even know what that is. Hey, don't lick that. If I had thought I was going to be doing this, I would have cleaned up this garage a little bit more. So hopefully you'll understand that the black feet on him, because he's been walking all over these dirt puddles and dirt piles, and it's amazing to me sometimes how bunnies that are found as strays even survive, because they've been living under cars, eating God knows what, and licking up oil and antifreeze and everything else that falls out of cars, and yet they seem to survive. But when we bring bunnies into the home, we're so nervous about every little thing that they're exposed to, and sometimes we forget that they're maybe a little bit hardier than what we think they are. That's not to say that we shouldn't be cautious, because we should. I kind of like the way they're able to sit there in boxes side by side, and maybe that's a key. The night one we were having problems with litter box being territorial, so maybe that's something to consider. Is maybe tomorrow night I'll try putting 2 litter boxes side by side and see if we can at least maybe sit in box. This is quality time. I like them being able to sit this close to each other yet separate, although it be. But there's no fence between them, so hopefully they understand that it's safe and secure, and yet they're not attacking each other. So hopefully this goes well. Anyway, we'll end for tonight and give you another update tomorrow night. Say goodnight. Say goodbye.